Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the coffee break. I'm back. And it's been a while, hasn't it? And I don't know what happened to me, but I took a little extra time and have just been chilling out, not paying attention to anything except just trying to get through the beginning of a new year. Anyways, it's 2021. We kissed 2020 goodbye, right? And I figured it's time to get back to our blog and try to be regular about that and sit down and take a time out, a coffee break as I like to call it, and just share, tell stories, let you know what I'm seeing going on out there, things like that. So I'm back, and I will try to be very consistent and regular about that from here on out for a little while. Anyways, I need to backtrack a little bit and talk to you about what happened since I last spoke with you. I took a little break. I was intending to take 2 weeks off and just enjoy the holidays and then pick up again after the new year began. And so much has happened since then, of course, that time just gets away with you, or from you, should I say, and you don't know where you've been or what you've done or how it could have gone by so fast without really doing much of anything. But that's life, isn't it? You just sort of go with the flow, and I kind of like the idea of going with the flow a little bit more, especially as I get a little older. I'm thinking that because if you try too hard, if you try to force things to happen too much, you just end up exerting a ton of energy and waste time on things that just ultimately don't matter. So I'm trying not to be too pushy about anything, and that includes going to work and following a career and just trying to get anything done. I'm just doing it in my time, and sometimes I feel like, well, I could have done that a lot sooner than now, but I didn't. And, you know, I'm no worse for the wear, so who cares? Anyways, I wanted to wait and see what was happening in the world coming into January, because so much has happened with our government and our politics. We have a new commander-in-chief, and we've had all kinds of things going on in Washington and our insurrection. We still have a pandemic. We're still navigating day to day and trying to figure out how to do anything. And I feel like, just to share with you, that I've actually been doing a little bit better so far in the last 6 weeks, because it's only been 6 weeks since we've been in this 2021. But I feel with the changes that have happened in Washington and having new leadership, that I feel a little bit less stressed out about all of that, a little less frustrated, a little less concerned, and that's a good feeling. And I know, of course, not everyone is in agreement on that, but I don't feel like we're in dire straits the way we were before. So if you were to ask me, are we on the right track or the wrong track right now, I'd say we're now heading back to a better track. So I would probably choose the right track, simply because there has been some change. There's some action happening that is actually addressing the needs of the people and not dealing with alternative agendas or personal belief systems that don't consider that, you know, as an American, or for that matter, if you were in any other country, you would be a citizen of that country. You would want to be recognized and know that your government is doing what it can to take care of the country, because it meets the needs of the people as much as anything, and overall. And that's a tough thing to do. I certainly wouldn't want to have a job in politics, let me tell you, and no government job for me, because there would be too much to consider, and I wouldn't necessarily want to be responsible for all of that. But that being said, I'm glad that that is going in a different direction, and I'm just looking forward to seeing any kind of positive results that lead us to a better place, especially when you consider our economic situation with people needing to go to work, and the pandemic situation where people are needing to stay healthy and feel safe wherever they go. So for me, I can share with you that in this last 6 weeks, I've actually gotten a couple of jobs that I've worked 3 days on a film, and I had to take COVID tests in order to work those days. And because that's the way it works now. You take a COVID test and then you work a day or two. And I've done 2 COVID tests and worked 3 days. And to watch what's going on out there in the industry and see how everyone working on the film set is coming together with a health and safety team, and they're always walking around trying to make sure that you have what you need in the way of sanitizer, or if you need an extra mask, they're trying to remind people gently and friendly, in a friendly way, to make sure their masks are properly on at all times until you are needed to take them off. And that was the hardest part right there, I think. Is that when you're working 13 hours on a movie set, you have to keep your mask on, but then when the cameras start rolling, they ask you to take them off. So it's masks off, masks on all day long for 13 hours. That was, oh boy. And in some respects, it's very annoying. And but at the same time, I'm ready to put it back on because I want to be safe. And I want everybody else to be safe too. So it's only being respectful and mindful of the situation. And so they had a health and safety team there working to that capacity. And they would wander around wherever the crew was and just be checking out everything. And if you weren't 6 feet apart, they would remind you to stay, distanced. Keep your mask on, and it's hard. It's really hard because some people want to, during a break are trying to make a conversation and talk to other people, and they would tend to maybe take the masks down a little bit. And of course, when you notice that, you're like, hey, you can be heard with your mask on. Put your mask back on and talk. You don't have to have a 10 to 20 minute conversation with your mask off with someone across from you for no reason at all. So, but some people didn't buy into that. So to that extent, we still are, combating, people's belief systems, I think, on, what is safe and what isn't safe. In any case, I felt really good about the fact that there was a health and safety team there, and I felt better about the idea, hey, I landed a few days of work already this year. And when you think about that, compared to what I did last year in 2020, I probably have worked as much already in the first 6 weeks as I did all of 2020. So that makes me feel good, and it makes me feel hopeful for a few more jobs every month, to at least feel like I'm earning an income and following my career path as I used to do. So in some regards, that at least makes me feel like I'm kind of heading towards a new normal, but a normal nonetheless. And which at least makes me feel like I'm not just sitting around at home on my butkus. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I wanted to share that's what's happened to me in the last 6 weeks. And of course, there's been a lot more to share about what's happened in the last 6 weeks. I've got a few stories to share with you, but I won't do them all in this video because we only have so much time on our little coffee break. I don't want to overdo it, time-wise. And so we'll split it up a little bit and save a little bit for later. But I am back, and I am going to share stories with you. And so far for this video, I wanted to talk to you about, a little backtracking and the fact that I have gotten a little bit of work and what that's been like. I do have to tell you that one of the things I'm enjoying so far about this entire winter for where I'm at, it's been very mild and a little on the warmer side. I mean, yeah, it's been colder here and there at night, but for the most part, it's been a mild winter, and I am so appreciative of that. And it just makes life a little easier when you're dealing with so many issues going on in the world. That being said, I also have noticed something about myself that I guess I'll share right now. And that is that as the days go by and the months go by during this pandemic, I am seeing in myself the desire to sort of be further and further away from the normal, the way it used to be. And I don't need to be around a lot of people and a lot of crowds and do all the traditional things that you're peer pressured into doing, or the opportunities that have been available out there for people to get involved with, and that would involve getting out there amongst a lot of people. I kind of just want a little bit more fresh air, peace and quiet, and distance. And I don't know if that's what any of you out there are experiencing or feeling, but that's exactly what I'm feeling. And as I live in the big cities and have to commute back and forth between cities to do work, I find that, that's okay. But for me personally, I don't need to be living in the midst of all the urban lifestyle. So I'm looking at myself in the future, somewhere down the road when it makes sense to do it, and it's appropriate for me to do that considering my situation. I do take care of someone who needs me to be here more often than not. And I don't want to ever consider changing that until it's an appropriate time to do so. So I won't be making any rash decisions, but in the future, if I have an opportunity, I think I might like to find a place that's a little further out away from the rest of the world, so to speak. A little in the country, or out in the mountains, or somewhere where I can just sort of be a little bit more with myself and with nature, and be more. I'm so appreciative of getting out for some of the hiking trips that I've done, and seeing some of the beauty of God's creation that hasn't really been disturbed greatly by human hands. And I've been having a lot of thoughts about the state of our humanity in this world during this whole last year. And what we do to take care of it or not. So I feel like I want to be closer to that. So that's a little bit about where I've been feeling and thinking about future down the road things. I can go and live somewhere else and then commute to where I need to go to get things done accordingly. And I think I'll be okay with that. And I wonder what you all are thinking and experiencing along those lines. How has your year been so far? And are you working, or are you getting out and about and doing any outdoor activities, etc., and so on? And so if you want to share or have a question or a comment or anything like that, please leave that in the comment boxes below. And as usual, I'm going to say, to wrap it up, if you like the video, give me a big thumbs up. And if you want to receive notifications, click the notification bell, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I'll keep in touch with you, and we'll be able to let you know each time a video becomes available and I'm sharing a new story, okay? And otherwise, we're back, we're jibber-jabbering, we're practicing the gift of gab and babbling along, and, just sharing with each other in a little way, okay? And I look forward to continuing to do that, and so I'll see you next time right here on the coffee break. Until then, you have a great day, okay? Alrighty, bye for now.